What's going on, brothers? What is going on? It is your dude. It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another future classic live stream. First and foremost, please press a one in the live stream chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear. How's the audio? Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Houston, we have a thank you, Donovan, for typing a one. Can I get a couple more ones, please, to make sure my audio is clear across the board? Who's in the building tonight, man? Don't be shy. We got 8 people watching already. Who's here? Okay. Awesome, awesome. Yes, yes, yes. MJ, Shaq Base Pool, Raphael, Chief. Awesome, awesome. So, brothers, welcome, welcome. It's been a minute. Hope you're well. Sorry for no streams last week. Super busy, but now we back. So, brothers, when you come in today, please like the video. Like so extremely important. Please support what I do in the movement. That'd be greatly appreciated. Welcome aboard the new people. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. Okay. First and foremost, brothers, please make sure you join the Patreon. There's an explicit X-rated version of this stream or this particular topic about Singaporean women on the Patreon. Go and check it out. They're definitely freaky. Singaporean women. And of course, brothers, please make sure you book your IT consultations, get on my IT mentorship plan on the platinum tier on my Patreon, cop the merch, and do anything you do. And of course, tonight, please hit the PayPal donations and of course, hit the super chats. Let's get it cracking. So in today's live stream, brothers, we shall be breaking down Singapore. I got a very special guest here today called Mr. DM. DM, how you doing, bro?
Me there. I am happy to be here. Happy Friday, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, DM. Much appreciated, bro. So, DM, give us a brief intro about who you are, where you're from, and anything special about you, bro.
All right. So my name is DM. I am originally from NYC, New York City. I now live in Niagara Falls, New York. I work as a Spanish teacher and I got my own business on the side, doing online teaching. And then also I'm looking to go into Python to learn more about that and making my own websites in the near future so that when I live abroad, I can have a guaranteed business to be able to support myself and my girl.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, thank you for your time, Mr. DM. Much appreciated, bro. So, let's get it cracking, man. Singapore. Wow. How did you find yourself in Singapore, brother?
Well, it was easy. Growing up in an urban slash suburban area all my life, I knew that for me to get used to my first trip to Asia, I had to find a place that reminded me as much of New York City as possible, just to be able to make an easier psychological transition into adjusting the Asian culture. So I wanted to start with the country that resembled the most like New York City and then work my way down so that, guess what? When I went to Malaysia, when I went to Philippines, which I want to go to in the future, when I went to Thailand, which I want to go to in the future, and when I went to Japan, which I passed through on the way to Singapore, I would appreciate it more. Sometimes when you go to the best places for passport bros, first, you take it for granted and you don't appreciate it as much. And that's just imperfect human nature. So I kind of had to be patient with myself and wean myself by going to Singapore first. Also, too, I fell in love with the movie Crazy Rich Asians. And that was another thing that made me want to go to Singapore. I was very curious about the city.
Fantastic, bro. Fantastic. So, first question for you, brother, is accommodation. So, where were you staying in Singapore? Was it Airbnb? Was it hotel? And give us a cost, brother, of your accommodation stay.
All right. So Singapore is one of the most expensive cities slash countries in the world. No question about it. I had two accommodations in Singapore. The first accommodation I had was a Hotel Indigo in the Katong section of Singapore. And that was a $200, and I'm talking in American dollars, by the way. It was a $200 incidentals deposit just in case there was any damages to the room. And then it was around $200 a night. And the reason why I'm glad I stayed at this hotel is because of the fact that it was a spacious room. You had an infinity pool at the roof of the hotel. There was a Starbucks coffee and the bottom floor. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet restaurant. So the thing about Singapore is that if you want a good, decent, quality hotel, you have to be willing to pay a decent price for it. And on top of that, you had a beautiful view of Singapore from the roof. You had a gym in there, and it was in the you learned a lot about the Peranakan culture of Singapore. So that was a good thing about staying at the Hotel Indigo, and I highly recommend it.
Awesome, bro. How much did it cost you per day?
So per day, so it was $200 for the incidentals, right? And then if everything was okay, you had it returned to you, which it was. I recommend when you pay the price for the incidental deposit, give them cash. That's what I did, so that when I checked out the next day, it was immediately given back to me. And then the second place I stayed at was right when I was going to fly out of Singapore. It was at the Yotel Air in Changi. And it wasn't as expensive. It was like less than $100 a night. And you didn't have to pay them an incidental deposit in advance.
Okay. Okay. Awesome, bro. So when we break down Singapore, right?
Yes.
Who runs that country, brother? I know that there's three main ethnic groups there: Chinese, Indian, and Malay. Who runs
Yes.
that? Who has the most power there, and who runs that country?
So Singapore is technically a dictatorship, but it's a looser dictatorship. It's becoming more capitalist now. So there is a form of parliament, similar to any other country in the British Commonwealth. I don't know exactly the name of the person that runs the country, but what I do know is that it's basically a combination of a loose dictatorship combined with.
Sorry, bro. In terms of like the race of people.
Oh, race. Okay. So definitely the Chinese. The richest people in Singapore are the Chinese. No question about it. When you go to Mei Square, when you go to the business sector, the people who tend to be the richest and have the most money, definitely the Chinese, as well as the Eurasians.
Interesting. It seems like these Chinese people have money all around the world, man. And I hope one day that us as black men, we surpass them in wealth, influence, and power. It just ain't fair, man, as to how around the world brothers ain't doing too good. But I know our time will come, man. I know it will.
It's gonna come. I believe in us. We just gotta learn from them and then do better than them. That's just it.
I hope so as well, bro. I really hope so. I'll be honest with you, bro. Some days I just feel like I'm just really angry and frustrated some days, bro. I'll tell you that. Next question for you, brother, is so now in terms of investments, bro, within Singapore, Are there opportunities for brothers to invest there in particular fields? Are there fields there that you may see like it's a good business opportunity for brothers to invest in at all?
Okay. So there's two fields in particular that doing my research, talking to other brothers and watching videos of other brothers that have lived in Singapore. Singapore is very similar to New York City in which they have their own stock exchange. So if you know how to invest in stocks, you can make a lot of money in Singapore because they have one of the best stock exchanges in all of Asia. Another thing too, if you're into IT or any kind of computer technology, brothers can do a solid killing for themselves financially in IT. So Singapore is definitely a good place to go to either work IT remotely or to work IT over there.
Awesome, bro. So tell me more about the people. You know, how the people like, brother? Are they kind? Are they friendly? Or are they stuck up? Are they rude? Are they arrogant? Particularly towards brothers.
You know what? Coming from New York City, I always have my BS detector on for racism or for people that were very unfriendly. And knowing from the movie Crazy Rich Asians how stuck up the rich people in Singapore can be, I didn't bump into too many rich people from Singapore. But I bumped into mostly commoners, and the majority of the commoners and people of the middle class that I bumped into, they were very friendly. They were very hospitable. They were very happy to see an African American, and they were willing to tell me the best places to go. I got into a very good conversation with one Singaporean that I met on the bus when I took the bus from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore. And he told me, the best places to eat, the best things to do. We exchanged contacts by WhatsApp, and I've been keeping in touch with him here and there. So the average Singaporean, as long as they're in the middle class or they're a commoner, they're very friendly, they're very hospitable, and they'll show you around as well.
Okay, awesome. So in terms of like transportation, bro, how do passport bros get around in Singapore? Is it Uber? Is it bus? Is it train? What's the best way in doing so, brother? Break it down for us.
Okay, so here's the deal. If you're a passport bro, whether you're visiting or you live there, always public transportation. Just like New York City, always public transportation. They have the MRT, which is their version of the underground or the subway. It takes you everywhere you want to go in Singapore. What I did was I got for $20, it was 20 Singaporean dollars. It was a weekly link pass, and you could use it both for the MRT as well as for the bus. Also, too, the major company that they have there is Grab. So you can also take Grab, and it's pretty affordable. I took a Grab from the Pasir Ris train station from the MRT to the Hotel Indigo in Katong, and it was only like 8 Singaporean bucks, not including tip. So you have to take Grab and you have to take the MRT. For anyone that decides to be a passport bro that lives there because they got an IT job, it's never worth it to have your own car there. And I'm going to briefly tell you the reason why. To have a car there is a sign that you're wealthy. because it costs $106,000 to have what they call a 10-year certificate of entitlement, which is a right to own a vehicle. And then every 7 years, Singapore pressures you to sell a vehicle that, let's say you got a vehicle that was brand new in 2016. 2023, even though the car is still in good shape, they still pressure you to get a brand new vehicle. So if you are in the middle class or below, even Singaporeans, they don't drive. They take public transportation. So as a passport bro, take the public transportation. Save yourself that money and that hassle.
Did you say it costs over 6 figures, bro, to own a car?
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm not talking about the license. It's reasonable to get a license, but because the Singaporean government tries to do everything possible to pressure people to take only the public transportation, this is the reason why they do this. You have to get the license as well as a certificate of entitlement, or a right, which is the right to own a vehicle. Keep in mind that every year, Singapore only has so many certificates of entitlements to give. So not everybody is going to get one. It's a lottery system. And this is even among the population that can afford to pay the $106,000. So Singapore purposely sets it up so that unless you're uber rich, you cannot afford a car.
Wow. Great breakdown. Thank you, bro. All right. So next question for you, brother, is food. So is Singaporean food tasty? Is it healthy? Is it cheap? What was your favorite cuisine there when you were there in Singapore? Break down the food aspect for us, bro.
So I strongly suggest that when you are a passport bro in Singapore, whether you're living there for a while or you're visiting, you gotta go to the hawker centers. Because the thing about the hawker centers is that this is where you can eat good quality food for the cheapest price. The regular sit-down restaurants in Singapore tend to be very expensive, but if you go to the hawker centers, you can get, it's basically like a food court that's not necessarily a part of a mall. And so you have all of these different food stalls where you can get affordable dishes. You have Indonesian food, you have Vietnamese food, you have Korean food, you have Japanese food, you have Malaysian food, and Singaporean food. And so the dishes that I strongly recommend are Malaysian satay, which is basically beef skewers, lamb skewers, or chicken skewers with a homemade peanut sauce. Also, you have nasi lemak, which is fried chicken with your choice of vegetables. It could be like a small salad or bean sprouts, and then some rice and beans with a red peanut chili sauce over it. You also have chicken curry. You have nasi goreng, which is like a rice mixed with your choice of meat. And then you also have the laksa, which is basically noodles, their version of ramen, but fancy. And you can have it with your choice of chicken or beef or fish. And then you also have, Singapore is known for their crab. They have chili crab, and it's delicious. And there are so many. I also had great Indonesian food. So I had rice with roasted chicken and a red, sweet, and spicy peanut sauce. And
Awesome.
then you also, one more thing I'll say for food, you also have to try their shaved ice, which is coconut flavored. And then you have to have their coffee with condensed coconut milk in it to die for.
Awesome. Fantastic, bro. Now, next point for you, brother, is cost of living, right? I have heard for many years that Singapore is a very expensive country. Can you break down, brother, the cost of living aspect there in Singapore? Was it expensive for you as a passport bro when you were out there? How should brothers prepare for the high cost there if it is expensive? Break it down for us, bro.
Yes. So definitely for sure. I if you want to plan where you're gonna stay in advance, I strongly suggest to download the Hopper app as well as Trip.com app and the Agoda app because you can get good deals on Airbnbs and hotels in Singapore. Because if you don't do that, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. The thing about it is that if you try to stay at the cheapest hotel in Singapore, it's gonna be like a little sleep pod, similar to what they have in parts of Japan, where you basically for like $50 a night, you basically have a pod that you sleep in, but it's in the center of the city. So if you want like a nice standard hotel room with a nice view, plan on spending anywhere from $100 to $200 a night. I strongly recommend if you're gonna stay in a hotel in Singapore, you either want to stay in the Katong section or in the Woodland section, because since it's not like downtown Singapore, it will be a little cheaper. So the closer you are to the airport or to downtown, the more expensive that's going to be. And one way you want to save money as well is always eat from the street vendors or eat at the hawker centers. If you're eating at fancy restaurants every day, it can easily cost you, if you're going out with your girl, at least $100 for 2 entrees as well as your drinks, if not more. So just little things like that, they add up.
Wow. So you can confirm it is a very expensive country, huh?
If there was a level that you could mention prices in Singapore, it would be above expensive. I'll put it to you like that.
And you're in around the was it New Jersey area?
No, so I'm from New York City originally, but I live in Niagara Falls, upstate New York now.
So hold on, bro. So New York, right? I know is expensive, right? Are you telling me that Singapore is more expensive than New York?
Yes, I'm telling you that.
It's
crazy, more expensive than New York City and then some.
That's crazy, bruv. What? That's mad. And New York is quite expensive.
It's a sin. Crazy. It's a sin how expensive Singapore is.
Any idea why it's so expensive? Is it because Singapore is the financial district of the entire world, or is there something going on there, bro?
All right. So two things. First, when Hong Kong was still a British protectorate, Asia's major trading center and financial center was in Hong Kong. Now that Hong Kong is an official part of China, Singapore has always been a financial center since the 1980s. But once Hong Kong officially became a part of China, more businesses moved to Singapore because there was less control over how they could do business in Singapore versus in China. So now the major financial and trading center in Asia is in Singapore. since like the early 2000s. To go along with that, I took a duck tour of Singapore. And another point that they mentioned is that they have a deal where they can do landfill and even borrow land from nearby Indonesia or Malaysia to add to Singapore, because of the fact that the population of Singapore is increasing. So because a good deal of Singapore is either reclaimed land or landfill, this is the other reason why Singapore is so expensive.
Fantastic. Wow. Thank you for that breakdown there, bro. So, brother, is Singapore a safe country when you're out there, brother? Did you feel very safe walking around in the nighttime, in the daytime? No one stepped to you. No one tried to rob you. No one looked at you any funny. You were safe there as a brother?
I felt extremely safe in Singapore. I mean, I was walking around at night. Like I said before, I did the night tour. I saw a show by the I saw, like, it's not the Tree of Lights, but I went to a park where they did a light show and with the tree-like structures that they have there. I forgot the name of it, but it's in Crazy Rich Asians. But no matter where I went in Singapore, I felt welcomed. I felt safe. No one tried to step to me. No one tried to disrespect me. No one gave me funny looks. They were actually happy to see me. So, I felt great, and any black man that's in Singapore, they'll feel great too.
Damn. Okay. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Now, what about racism, bro? Obviously, Singapore is an Asian country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to figure out the Asian mind state towards brothers, passport
Yes.
bros. When you're out there, Singapore, right? Did you experience racism from the Chinese Singaporeans, the Malay Singaporeans, the Indian Singaporeans, or any other groups of people out there? Maybe foreign nationals that were living there, expats. Any sort of racism you felt, brother, at all?
Well, I'm not saying that there's no racism at all, but the majority of the racism is between Singaporeans themselves, between the Chinese Singaporeans, the Indian Singaporeans, and the Malay Singaporeans. But in the younger generation, they're starting to date and intermarry each other. I did see a black guy that was around like university age with a Chinese Singaporean, and I myself was with my girlfriend who was Malay. So I think that gave me an extra advantage as far as gaining more respect from the Singaporeans. And I saw black people walking comfortably in Singapore. So even if there is racism, it's very minute and they keep it to themselves.
Was the black guy you saw with the Chinese Singaporean, right? Was he dark skin or light skin?
He was good question. He was like a caramel complexion. He was like medium height, muscular build, around 20 something, and his girl was 20 something too.
Did you see any dark skinned men, brother, with women out there, bro, in Singapore?
I saw a dark skinned African guy. He was with his African wife. And then I saw that caramel complexion guy I told you about. He was with his Chinese Singaporean girlfriend from university. And then I saw another like light chocolate complexion guy with his African girlfriend. And he kind of nodded at me and I nodded at him when I was at the mall by Marina Bay Sands. So it's not impossible for a black guy to land a Singaporean girl. It's just that I went to the tourist areas. I wasn't in Singapore. I wasn't going like to every single part of Singapore.
Okay. Thanks for that breakdown, bro. Now, next question for you, brother, is culture. So, can you break down the culture there in Singapore? Is it a conservative culture? Is it a liberal culture? Break it down for us, brother.
It is a conservative culture that is in the process of turning liberal. So it used to be, for example, that they were not about sex before marriage because they were about having a family and having kids. But because of the fact that Singapore is getting so expensive and it's becoming more capitalist year by year, as a result of that, it is starting to get more liberal. And and even people that are middle class, there's like a certain poshness that's embedded into the culture. Um, there is starting to be more unity between the Chinese, Indians, and Malays in the younger generation in the last couple of years. So much so that there's a dialect that they speak called Singlish, in which it's a mixture of Hindi or Tamil Indian with Malay, with Chinese, with English.
Okay. Brother, liberal in what aspects? Is that in terms of them taking in American culture, or just break it down for us, bro?
So they're starting to imitate more slowly but surely culture from the UK, culture from the States, as far as being more accepting of sex before marriage. And you're starting to have less Singaporean couples having kids because of how expensive it is to have a family. And you're starting to have um, more couples that are just living together instead of actually getting married, or even people in their 30s and 40s just dating around, but not actually having a serious relationship. So, like, the high amount of expenses that Singapore has is starting to become very similar to New York City, in which people are just tending to look out for themselves and then just sleep around, if anything, because
Wow.
of because it's becoming more expensive to like have a steady girlfriend or to have a family, more or less.
Wow. Wow. Okay. No, bro, this is great breakdown so far. And this is why I got a problem with the West, man. I really do. I just can't stand it anymore, brothers. Poisonous, poisonous ideologies out here in the West, man. Disgusting. Um, so next question for you, bro, right, is um what's it called? Lifestyle, right?
Yes.
What's the lifestyle like in Singapore? Is it really like the movie Crazy Rich Asians? A bunch of rich Asian people flexing, big money, big cars, just rich Asians everywhere. They're spending. How is the lifestyle like there in Singapore, bro?
So there's two dichotomies. If you're rich, you're noshy, you are flexing how much money you have. You're trying to get Louis Vuitton. You're trying to get the Coach bag. You're trying to get Gucci, and you're really trying to flex. And then if you're middle class, you still feel the pressure to to not only do what you got to do to survive, but if possible, keep up with the Joneses. And one similarity that I've seen between the people that are rich and the people that are middle class is that the weekends are the prime time to go out, whether it's to a restaurant, to the bar, to the club, and to party and have a good time. So no matter what the culture is or what the social economic level is, people like to party and have a good time during the weekends in Singapore.
Okay. And brother, where do passport bros fit into, you know, the lifestyle there? So I'm all about having a strong internet connection, having great logistics around me, but particularly internet's very important. And of course, being paid well. So in terms of internet connection, bro, internet speeds, how's that over there in Singapore?
The internet speed, it was super fast. I never had lulls or slowdowns of my internet. Like, I could even receive a phone call from the States from a side job that I had, and it was just fine. It was just like if I was to be in the States and I received a phone call. I never had problems with my internet. It worked super quick. I never had problems receiving my phone calls. The internet is superb in Singapore. And to answer your other question, the Black people that I know that worked in IT, they got paid exceptionally well. And there was even a Jamaican guy I knew that moved to Singapore. He opened a Jamaican restaurant and he did exceptionally well financially. And then there was an African guy that played on the Singaporean soccer team and then later on opened his own restaurant with his wife. And he's gotten paid exceptionally well and lives comfortably in Singapore. So you can be a Black man and live well in Singapore.
Where's his wife from, bro?
His wife is African.
Okay, that's good. Okay, fantastic. Awesome, man. Fantastic, brother. Great breakdown so far, brother. Very happy here. So that's the first part of the stream. And I want to go to the second part of the stream, brother. And that's in regards to women. And brothers, feel free to support the channel, man. Hit the super chats, hit the PayPal donation. Show me some support, man. That'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I gotta support what I do here, brothers. Please support. So the next question for you, brother, is the woman there in Singapore, right?
Yes.
Are Singaporean women, right, checking heavy for brothers?
They check it heavy, man. Not necessarily the rich ones, but the middle class ones, yes. And I have a lot of intel as far as where in Singapore you need to go to get those girls that are checking heavy for the passport bros.
Break it down for us, bro.
Okay. So, in the passport bros community, we love Filipino women. So there is a mall where all the Filipinos go every Saturday and Sunday called Lucky Plaza. You have Filipino women that are just sitting with their female friends, and they love it when the passport bros just cold approach them and rap to them and pick them up. You have a lot of single Filipino women checking for passport bros in Singapore. And if you go to Lucky Plaza, this is like the unofficial place to pick them up. Another place you want to go to on Saturdays and Sundays is the Golden Mile Mall. This is where you cold approach Thai chicks who are chicken heavy for passport bros. And then you have to go to City Plaza Mall where you want to cold approach Indonesian chicks who are chicken heavy for passport bros. And then you got to go to the Peninsula Plaza Mall on Saturdays and Sundays where you cold approach Burmese chicks from Myanmar who are checking heavy for brothers. And then you have to go to the Joo Chiat, all along Joo Chiat Road. You have to go to the Katong Complex and Katong Point malls where you can cold approach Vietnamese chicks who are chicken heavy for brothers. And then you have to go to Geylang Serai, which is officially the red light district of Singapore. But they have malls there too where the Malay women are chicken heavy for brothers. And then last but not least, you have to go to the Woodland section of Singapore. You have the North Point Mall, the Junction 9 Mall, and the Sembawang Shopping Center, where the Malaysian and Malay chicks are also checking heavy for brothers. And one more place, Clark K. That's the major clubbing as well as partying scene and restaurant scene in Singapore. In Clark K, there are malls in that area where you can find Korean women and Japanese women checking heavy for brothers.
Fantastic. All right, brother. I'm gonna need you to type that out for us, brother. In
Oh yes. Let me type it out.
Please do it. So you type out the name of the mall and what groups of women are in that mall for us to get right. So hold that foot there. So while you're typing out, brother, right? So Chinese Malaysian chicks, are you saying they're going to be hard for a brother to get because they look down on brothers? There's probably this potential colorism issue there. The darker you are, it's a problem to them. Is that a fair statement, or is there a chance to get Chinese Malaysian chicks?
I think it's easier to get the Malay chicks than it is to get the Chinese chicks, because the Malay chicks are usually middle class and the Chinese chicks are usually upper middle class to rich. So if you want to go after a Chinese chick, you go to Chinatown, and that's usually where you'll find the middle class Chinese chicks. So if it's a chick that is rich, she'll usually tend to be in the downtown area. That's where you get like the most poshiest girls that you want to stay away from.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So can I ask why, the middle class women in Singapore are checking for brothers?
So the thing about it is that if, like I said, that black guy that was with a Chinese chick, they were university age. So it was obvious that they went to the same university together. So the middle class women, they're not as stuck up as the rich women. So they would be more open to passport bros, because it's not like the rich women where they want to look for another rich person so that they could stay rich. No doubt a woman wants a man that's going to take care of her, but in the middle class, they're a little humbler. When I was at the Hotel Indigo, I had a Eurasian lady that was very friendly, giving me choosing signals. And then I also had a Chinese lady that was very friendly, giving me choosing signals, eye contact, very hospitable. Whereas if there was a rich Chinese family with a lot of young ladies on the tour bus that I took, and they wouldn't even give me the time of day, they wouldn't even look in my direction. So basically, the more money that the woman has, the more she won't even look in your direction. And the reason why I mentioned these places that I'm typing up is because Singapore has a policy of allowing women to immigrate from other countries to work as maids or domestic workers. So Saturday evenings, as well as Sundays, are usually their days off. And because they have such a hard time finding a mate, because of the fact that, I don't want to say they're illegal immigrants, but they immigrated to do domestic work. This is the reason why they purposely plant themselves on the parks and the commons outside of these plazas, hoping that a guy will pick them up.
Interesting.
Because the average Singaporean guy will look down on them.
Hmm. Okay. So, what kind of men is the average Singaporean woman looking for, bro? Is it a Westerner? Is it a local dude? Is it a guy of money? Break it down for us, bro.
What's interesting is the fact that a lot of Singaporean women want a guy that's 6 feet tall. So their tastes in men are starting to be similar to that of Western women. And the average Singaporean guy is not that tall. So there's a lot of dating shows where they're trying to hook up Singaporean women with Asian Singaporean women with Singaporean men, and it's failing just because of the fact that a lot of these Singaporean women are not into their own men. So they tend, especially the richer ones, the richer Singaporean women, if they can't get a Singaporean guy with money, they tend to like guys from Australia, guys from New Zealand, guys from the States or Canada or UK or Europe in general. If it's women in the middle class, they're gonna be more open to a brother because they just
Interesting.
because we tend to be on average 6 feet tall. Not all of us, but enough of us so that they would be satisfied as far as looking for that masculine type.
So let me ask this right. Colorism, right? Is that a problem there in Singapore? Would you say the lighter you are, if you're Chris Brown complexion, if you're a Jay-Z complexion, Michael B. Jordan complexion, as opposed to Idris Elba complexion or Akon complexion, right? You have an easier time dating and meeting women in Singapore, or does complexion not matter, bro?
I think that if you're a light skin, like Chris Brown kind of guy that's 6 feet tall, you're gonna have the best time, admittedly, because there is enough colorism in that you have, just like in a lot of Asian countries, a lot of these women are putting bleaching creams on to try to look lighter. But if you are the kind of guy that goes to the gym, you're in good shape, and you take good care of yourself, no matter the color of your skin, you can do well. So even though they might prefer a lighter guy, if you're the kind of guy that goes to the gym and you're 6 feet tall, they'll give it a pass.
Okay. Interesting, bro. Interesting. So you mentioned here, right? If you want to find Korean/Japanese woman, you find that in Clark Quay. Can I ask why you find them there? Is that where a lot of those women congregate at, brother?
That's where they like to go out, and that's where they congregate at. So Singapore also has some of the best universities in all of Asia. So this is the reason why a lot of Korean and Japanese women will immigrate to Singapore, and then after they've graduated from university, if they find good jobs there, then they'll stay in Singapore. And the thing about Clark K is that the majority of your Korean and Japanese restaurants are in that area. And Clark K tends to be the most international part of Singapore, besides the downtown section where they have the business and the Singaporean Stock Exchange. So Clark K is where the majority of Europeans live, and that's where the majority of Koreans and Japanese live. So Clark K is the most international part of Singapore, besides the business center.
Wow. Okay. Awesome, bro. So tell me, like, the looks on average on a Singaporean chick, bro. Are these women dimes, or are they not as good looking as, let's say Japanese, Filipinas? Break it down for us, bro.
So the thing about it is that um you can get a beautiful Singaporean woman. Um you can get what Kevin Samuels would say an adjustable 6 or 7. So if she puts a little bit of makeup on and she wears a nice dress, then she can be pretty. So the thing about it is that the average Singaporean woman, because of a lot of racial mixture that's going on be- with women between the ages of 18 to 30, the average Singaporean woman is anywhere from an adjustable 6 to like around an 8 or a 9, not really needing makeup. So you can walk down the street and you don't really have to break your neck to bump into women that are very feminine in their appearance, very attractive. And the thing is, Singaporean culture encourages them to look as feminine as possible and to wear the nicest clothes and always take care of their hair and to look as attractive as possible.
Okay. What about body type, brother? What they packing body type, body wise?
So you have a lot of women that if they want to attract a white guy, they'll be skinny. If they want to attract a black guy, they'll be slim thick or medium size. And the thing about it is that because of the influence of the West that's slowly creeping in on Singapore, you are starting to have more not like obese women like in the States, but more thicker women. So you have a little bit of everything body wise. It's just not to the point of the West as of yet.
Okay. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Now, so what kind of tuning signals do Singaporean women give?
Um, Very similar to Korea and Japan. So what will happen is the fact that they can either approach you and say hi, or they can give you eye contact and smile. They can play with their hair a little bit, or they can look at you, then turn the other way, then look at you again and turn the other way just to see if you would make eye contact or not. Or they might even walk by you in the hopes that you'll say hi to them. So
Interesting.
if you're in these malls and you're walking by and they're just sitting in the common, but in the common, look for them. Either just go ahead and approach them, or look for them to shoot a smile at you, or to give you peripheral vision, eye contact, and then look back. And that's how you know, okay, let me shoot my shot.
Interesting. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Those are all my questions, bro. Is there anything else you want to add in regards to dating there, woman there that we need to know?
So I would say that if you want to have a good time, Singapore is a place to go, especially if you go to Jeleng Serai. But if you want to get a serious relationship, or if you want to get married, then go to Japan, go to South Korea, Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia. Like the majority of passport bros that go to Singapore It's just to have a good time. And Sarai is the place you want to go to have a good time. Massage parlors with a happy ending. But for marriage material, you go to Malaysia or you go to Japan or South Korea or Philippines.
So you're saying even Singapore isn't a place to look for a wife? Is that your opinion, brother?
No, just for like to have a good time.
It's funny you mentioned that. Someone before earlier on, we did a stream a couple months ago, mentioned that as well. So this is the best channel on YouTube, brothers. Again, we're gonna give you brothers the truth, but nothing but the whole truth. Thank you, bro. So let's get some callers in. Okay, brothers, calling if you have any questions about Singapore. I'm gonna give you our brothers 5 minutes. Call in. If you don't call in, we're gonna end the stream early. Okay, so calling brothers, to speak any questions you have about Singapore.
I'll be real. The reason why I had such a good time in Singapore, women wise, is because I was with my Malaysian girlfriend that was showing me around. So,
no worries, bro. No worries.
yeah.
All right, so brothers, call in, brothers, call in. Now's the time for you to call in if you have any questions for our guests. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Call in. So great live stream, bro. Fantastic. Do I have any questions myself? I don't think I do. Let me see.
One thing I forgot to say is the fact that the average middle class Singaporean lives in what we would consider in the UK or the United States and Canada to be projects, but there's a particular term that they have for it, and it's called tenant housing. And so because of the fact that Singapore is so expensive, one of the ways that Singapore makes it livable is by making it affordable to have tenant housing. And so the kind of housing that people will look down on you on in the States or Canada or the UK to live in Singapore, everybody is proud to live in the projects, basically. And so everywhere you go in Singapore, you will have what they call tenant housing. And that was something that was established by Kwai Ling Tao, who was the dictator of Singapore that basically shaped Singapore to be the financial center that it is today.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. All right, brothers, 2 more minutes for y'all to call in. If y'all don't call in 2 minutes, I'm going to end the stream on the hour mark. So thank you, bro, for this breakdown, bro. Yo, crypto's popping off, bruv. Flipping heck. What's going on? Hold on. Yo, crypto is popping off. Yo, flipping heck, bruv. Yo, we got to do a crypto stream very soon, man.
I'll be listening to that crypto stream because that way I know the best companies to invest crypto in.
Absolutely, bruv. Yo. Okay, man. Yo, we definitely got to do that crypto stream, bruv. Flipping heck, fam. Yo, man. This is nuts.
I think crypto is the way to go over stocks, to be honest with you, because I have a couple of stocks for Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, and it's kind of like, and we use Google all the time, so it's kind of surprising me.
Yeah, it's moving really slow, right?
Yeah.
Very slow. Let me check Google stock at the moment. Yeah, it's moving super slow. Yeah, stock's moving very slow compared to crypto. Crypto is more volatile. You gain
Yes.
quickly, but you also lose quickly as well, where stocks are more stable. It all depends on what your risk appetite is. But I will keep it a stack, man. Stocks is looking like a myth right now, bro. Like an absolute myth. Back in 2021, it was popping, right, during the pandemic. But now, uh, stocks are moving super slow, bruv. Super slow. Unless you're on like Tesla, which moves quite fast, but still, man, like, yeah, I think crypto is the way forward, brothers. It really is. Crypto is popping, man. What up, Demswood, man? You good, bro? Yeah, we got to do a crypto stream very soon. I'll put that on my to-do list. Awesome, man. Awesome.
Oh, there's one more club that I need to mention that is like the go-to spot in Singapore. So, it's called Bricks Bar. And so if you are doing well financially and you want high profile escorts, that's where you want to go.
Keep it PG, bruv.
No, but it kind of seems similar to that club that Dimswit was talking about. I haven't been there, but just I looked it up for anybody that might be interested. I mentioned Jailing Sarai as the main red light district, and there's a cheaper red light district called Attain Road. So there it is.
Can you type that in the private chat, please?
I'm going to type that. Yes, I will.
If the brothers want to go there, not my thing, but some brothers may want to go there, so we'll let them know.
Right. Not mine either, but just putting it out there just in case.
Okay. Awesome, bro. Awesome. Okay, so brothers, been a great live stream. If you want to call in, and have a discussion here, but it looks like it's a quiet night. It just is about big booty, Latina or European chick, over 100 views live. But if it was about Japan, definitely be popping. But it's quiet. It's quiet. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Alrighty. So thank you, Mr. DM, for calling in, brother, for chiming in.
Thanks for having me.
Much appreciated, bro. And yes, much appreciated. And yes, Chavin, Tony, absolutely. Please send me a DM on IG. Let's get that interview popping. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Okay, yeah. Calling, traveling, Tony, calling. I'll wait for you, bro.
Did we have more people for the Malaysia stream?
Yes, we did. We had way more people.
Yeah. That's because Malaysia, you could actually get you a wifey. And that's what it's all about. We might play around a little bit, but we have the goal of getting a wifey. So as Passport Bros, it's all about following the yellow brick road to having that submissive wife. That's what we do.
So essentially, bro, right? Singapore to have fun, Malaysia for wifey.
You got it.
That's a shame, bro. I thought Singapore was super conservative, but it's like they're going down the red road, which is a shame.
Yes.
Tony, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you are a brother, not a troll? Just do it for a second or two, bro. You're confirmed, Tony. Thank you, bro. I remember you, Tony. Yes, I do. Let me bring in Mr. Tony in the background. What's going on, Tony? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Hey, not bad, man. I have been super busy over the past 6 months. I ain't gonna lie, man. Okay. Super busy. How about you?
I've been all right, man. I got married traditionally in Tanzania. I'm still living in Africa, Tanzania right now. Just been trying to grow my channel. So came on here, see what you guys are talking about. So I heard you talk about wifey. Thank you. Is he married?
No, not yet. But the girl I'm talking to from Malaysia, I've been talking to her for about a year and a half, and I'm gonna go back to KL in Malaysia to see her again in December to celebrate Christmas and the New Year.
Okay. How much time do you spend there? Do you live there, or you spend months there, or something?
So I spend like a couple of weeks there at a time, and my plan is, because it's so cheap to live in Malaysia, it's like $1 American, you get 4.35 Malaysian ringgit. My plan is to see if I can move to Malaysia and open up my own business, because there's a lot of people that have opened up business in Singapore, but the taxes were way too expensive. They moved to Malaysia and they're making a killing there.
Okay. So yeah, I suggest you you live there for a while before you marry the girl. You know, live with her for a while before you get married.
That's the plan. That's definitely the plan.
Yeah.
Is that what you did for your girl in Tanzania?
Yeah. I've been living here for 2 years, so like I moved around, you know, Kenya, Uganda, TZ. I stayed in the country that had the most submissive women, and it was Tanzania. Uganda and Kenya are too versed in English, so they understand like Sexy Red and stuff like that. They may not deeply understand the lyrics, but they're perpetuating the same energy that those girls are in places like Nairobi, you know, South Africa, those places. Cause I did 4 countries in Africa before I found my home. Cause I was looking for a home. I wasn't on, like, you know, Austin Holloman, keep moving around. I was looking for a home and a wife and building, you know?
Yeah, I've watched Austin Holman sometimes. Let me ask you this. Is it true that Nairobi, it's an arm and a leg
For pricing,
for living there?
for living there, yes. Nairobi can be expensive because it's like it's kind of like it's like New York, kind of. It's really developed. It's really developed. It's really developed.
I had a coworker that was telling me that he could no longer afford to live in Nairobi, and that's one of the reasons why he came to the States.
Huh. Interesting. So you're saying, right, Tony, that if you want a black woman, right, as a wife, Tanzania is the country you should go to in Africa to find a submissive woman. The only country in Africa.
I would say, you know, because every dude is different. Some dudes like their women a little spicy, right? So if you like your women a little spicy but cool enough, then Kenyan women would be ideal. Because some dudes like the women that push back a little. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes like that. So if you want like a little pushback, Kenya is cool. Uganda, they're submissive. They're just not very attractive in Uganda.
I think I have to agree with you on that. I found Kenyan women attractive. I found Tanzanian women attractive. I had a classmate that was from Uganda when I was in university, and I was kind of like, no.
Yeah, Uganda. And Uganda kind of has some like underlying issues with Americans because we tried to implement a lot of shit in their country, and to our detriment, they understand English better than we thought. So I think there was a rapper.
Boy.
Yeah, they speak English as like it's like a first language there, you know. So
Yeah.
there was a rapper, Chance the Rapper. I believe it was Chance the Rapper. Ugandan chick was telling me that he said
Keep it PG, bro. Yeah.
Huh?
Keep it PG, bro. A boy swearing about any crazy talk.
Oh no. There's no cursing and nothing. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
the Ugandan chick was telling me that Chance the Rapper said he built the first hospital in Uganda. They took big offense to that, you know, because there's many hospitals. The country's pretty developed, and America portrays them as like some dirt dwellers, and they see that.
Boy.
They see that on YouTube. They see it on TikTok. So they see our opinions of Ugandans as some very poor people that can't afford food.
Hello?
American.
Boy.
They'll tell you like, hey, I'll for your meal. so you don't think I'm like a poor Ugandan or something like that, you know? So they're carrying that like American stereotype with them when they're around you. You know what I'm saying? They have that in the back of their mind, like Americans think they're better than us. You know, and a lot of it's targeted at Black Americans, to be honest.
Did they?
They love.
I'm sure.
Huh?
I think they sanctioned Uganda, right? America, pretty heavily,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
And brother, so you've been there, right? You've lived there, right? Have those
Yeah. I
sanctions
lived there for
worked?
45.
Have those sanctions worked, or Uganda, are they still pressing on and doing well there, bro? Or have the sanctions screwed them over? Is it me, DM? You there?
I'm still here. I
He's
think his
frozen, right?
internet is a
Yeah.
little bit slow.
I moved out of my house. That's
Oh,
why.
okay.
Yeah, I came outside. What were you saying, brother? I'm sorry.
I was saying DM, right? So obviously America sanctioned Uganda, right? Have the sanctions proven effective? Right? Are Ugandans on their knees because of the sanctions, or are they doing well despite the sanctions?
No, they're still doing well because they have Chinese money. The Chinese are there in droves. So, you hear the term white Jesus, right? They have
Yep.
Chinese Jesus in Uganda.
Again, IP, you mentioned this.
So they have Chinese Jesus. So they worship the Chinese to an extent maybe even higher than the Caucasian.
What, brother? You're telling me, right? The Chinese are deep in Uganda, and they
Deep in Uganda, bro.
Oh,
Deep in
man.
Uganda.
Do they run Uganda?
They kind of do. They can do whatever they want. They're all over. People, they're received well, but now our English is different from Ugandan English, right? They have more of a. It's even different from British English. Yeah, they learn British English, but their accent is different, right? So they know when you're like a Black American or Black Westerner or whatever, and I felt hostility even on my way to the airport. When I got to the airport, it was a white guy from New York, and he heard me talking, and he was like, "Hey, you're from America. How did you feel here?" I was like, "Honestly, I felt discriminated against." And he said, "Yeah, his Uber driver on the way there was telling him how much he hates Black Americans because of all the things he sees on like social media and the news with us killing each other and stuff like that." So we're kind of already at a disadvantage there. I was there with Travelversity for over a month. I was there 45 days. He was there 30 days. We both experienced similar things. Kenya's fun, though. If you want to go on vacation, I would say Kenya's fun. Tanzania is the place to get a wife. You could find a wife in Uganda. It's just they're not. The ones you're going to get aren't going to be the hot ones. Those ones want a lot. They want money for their phone numbers. Ugandan chicks in the mall, they go tell you, buy me something. It's very crazy.
So, brother, you're telling me, right, the Chinese, right, have a lot of juice in Uganda. So what are it? So, do the Ugandans want that, or is there animosity towards the Chinese from Ugandans, or they like it? They're okay with that?
So I asked the Uber driver how he felt about it. He said he feels that the Chinese and other foreigners get preferential treatment to even Ugandans. So that was interesting to me. So like they'll treat, but I heard the same in Kenya. Kenya, they were saying that white people get better treatment than even the Kenyans. I've read it on reviews while I was out there going to Cold Stone. Even restaurants, I'll read the restaurants reviews before I go to a restaurant, and they said, yeah, they treat this group of people better than they even do their own Africans. So,
Why
Africa has the issues too, but finding a wife is easy. Everywhere has issues, right? But I would say the women part in some of these countries is cool. South Africa is not cool. I don't recommend going there. But I don't. It's just too dangerous. But everywhere else is safe. East Africa is very safe.
Why are Chinese in Uganda in the first place, bro? Were they invited there by the government? Could they have money?
Yes. Yeah, the property law. So Chinese are already all through Africa. So if you look at some of my videos, I was in the village 2 weeks ago, right? My wife's village when I was getting traditionally married. there's Chinese digging for gold in remote parts of Africa. Like, I didn't even know that that was a thing. Yeah, of course we know extracting resources, but I actually seen like random gold mines. Let's say like right here in the dirt, people are just digging in the village because there's so much raw resources like in the outskirts of these nations. So the Chinese there are just racking up. They don't even speak Swahili. They don't even speak to the people directly. They just rent all the hotel rooms. They're nice hotels for very cheap because it's the village. And they just go out, they bring the equipment. So they're already at an advantage because they have industrial heavy duty equipment. You know, China's a big manufacturer. So they come with that equipment from China here to Tanzania, and they are extracting way more resources than the Tanzanians can because they're using pretty much shovels and just regular tools, you know, and they're using high powered drills. So they're losing
So,
to the Chinese as far as extraction.
so basically, you're saying, right, brother, right? So
Mhm.
all black people got to do, right, is get the machinery, and we can start digging for gold in these African countries ourselves.
Yes, in the villages you can. My boy was actually, because he's an Austrian economist, he was actually thinking about doing that because he didn't know. You know, I discovered it because it was nobody really goes to the village, right? How many really black Westerners, young black Westerners go to the village? So I seen it firsthand. I couldn't believe it. There were just gold mines everywhere. People just digging. You find gold, you know, and now even in this country. If you find gold in the village, it'll set you up for a while. So
Okay.
set
So,
you up for a while.
so brother, they find gold, right? Do they let the
Mhm.
government know? I hear birds. I hear birds. So, brother, they find gold, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Do they let the
Mhm.
government know, hey, we found gold, and the government taxes them on the gold, or they just steal the gold to their country without paying any sort of tax?
Okay, what I would say here is you're supposed to do things officially, but what happens is there's no real regulation. So people just do what they want. So they just take the gold and they dip. Or they keep
This,
stacking the gold up, you know. There's no real regulations here, especially when you're talking about the village. You know, there's no even real policing in the village. You kind of just do whatever you want.
this is a joke,
The
bruv.
only
I
policing
think
is like social policing.
Africa gotta get its ish together, bruv. This is a joke.
Yeah, man, it's
Sad.
you know, like I said, I tell people everywhere isn't perfect. Like the females, yes, that aspect is cool. Even social quality of life, yeah, that's cool. But organizational structure, that is what they're missing. You know, that's where the Anglo-Saxons got it. Organizational structure. Africa is just missing that element. You know, but nothing's perfect. So, you know, I'm just happy they don't have feminism here. Feminism doesn't exist. Women are in pocket. It's amazing. You know, you don't see Cardi B imitations everywhere because it disrupts the social order. You know, gender roles. Women are supposed to be ladylike, and that's been maintained here for centuries, right?
And brother, so obviously, brother, as passport bros, right, we gotta start thinking about wealth, right? Women
Okay.
are great, right, but building wealth and having a home base in Africa, I feel like as brothers, as black men, we can't
Mhm.
ignore Africa like that. So, are there countries in Africa, bro, that are very pro black male, pro business, and actually us as Western black men can go there and actually invest and make money with the locals there, brother? In your opinion?
In my opinion, so okay, so here's another thing too people need to know. So this country is like Japan, right? Japan keeps everything internal. For example, music here, 70% of the music on the radio has to be local Tanzanian music. 30% could be other music. So Kenyan, Amapiano, all that other stuff. American music in that 30%. Now, when countries allow foreigners to come and build and own property, no American could just own property here. It's a whole problem, right? So now people see that as a problem, but realistically, that's culture preservation right there. They're preserving their way of life, you know, just like in Japan, they preserve their way of life for so long by keeping foreigners at bay. When you allow foreigners to come in, that's when your country's going to change. I think that's what happened in Uganda and Kenya. That's why they have the Chinese there in droves because it's not going to just be, you know, blacks. They're not opening it just for blacks. They're opening it for money, monetary gain. So they don't care who brings the money, just whoever brings it. You feel me? That's what I've been seeing with countries that allow that.
Okay. So what about what countries, brother, are good
Mhm.
for us as passport bros to build wealth? Is it Nigeria? Is it Ghana? Is there a country or two or five where we can actually start building with the locals and making money with them, building wealth there? Because Chinese, so brother, like the Chinese, right? They got China.
Mhm.
Japanese, they got Japan. So even though we got Japanese and Chinese Americans, bro, they can always fall back to China and America, China and Japan to make money, right? Us
Right.
as black men that have been dispersed all over the world due to slavery, etc., we don't have that
Right.
backbone. Same with Koreans, bro. There's Koreans, Americans, they make money in America. But if they know
Right.
Korean, they can go back to Korea, which is a first world country, and make money in Korea. What can
Right.
we do? Is there a country for us, brother? That we can make money in that's good for us, brother? Is it Nigeria? Is it Ghana? Is it Tanzania?
So what you're talking about is repatriate to like our main country, the main place we belong. So the problem with
A home
us
base,
is,
brother, a
yeah,
home
yeah, home
economic
base.
base to make money.
Okay, for us, we're gonna have to go to the same places that the Chinese and the Anglo-Saxons are going to. So Kenya, Uganda are all good places. There's no special place for us, no, because we are not African. Even to them, we are outsiders, But I will say, this is the continent we are the most accepted as darkies, as dark people. We are most accepted here, but we're still outsiders because we were brought up by Anglo-Saxon way of life. We weren't brought up speaking any African language. We don't know nothing about tribal, nothing, So we're essentially not really African. So we don't have no ties to the motherland, but they will still accept us if we come here and we want to learn how to be. Learn. I'm living here amongst the people. They gave me a hard time at first. They're like, "Oh, when I was trying to get married, that's when I got to see the real." Now they don't mind us coming to have sex with the girls and leaving every country, right? They don't mind us coming to have sex, but when you're getting married, especially to a reputable family, you're gonna start to hear the doubts. You know, ooh, they're American. Ooh, they have high divorce rate. They're known for leaving. They have other women back in the U.S. and other countries. You start hearing that. You'll really love. You know what I'm saying? But that's because these countries are conservative, conservation. They don't want outsiders marrying their women. That's just what it is. They don't even want people from other African countries coming to marry their women. They want it to be internal, tribal. Even getting married outside your tribe is kind of like a little taboo. You know what I'm saying? But somebody that's not even from the motherland, that's like crazy
Brav, we
for the
need to,
traditional family.
yeah, we need. So how did you find your wife then? It was that dating apps or was that through a friend?
Through the mall, the mall. These girls are very approachable, and I would say this even in Kenya or whatever. The girls are very approachable. You go talk to them, whatever, whatever. Now, the vetting process is just up to you, knowing, like obviously girls who have two-parent homes, who father is a patriarch, they're gonna have different traits from a girl who had a single parent home, who didn't know her dad, mother didn't really care. It's like apparent on the surface, you can see that. And over time being in these countries, you could discern, okay, this is a girl that I could possibly have a relationship with, I could do the long-term with, because the family is everything in these countries. We don't have familiar support, we're foreigners. So when you come in to these countries, you get a traditional girl, which you can get. It's just you have to be living here. They're not going to do like the get married to you from a distance with a traditional family. They're not going to do that.
Okay, wow,
So if you're
amazing,
living
bro.
here and stuff like that, you'll be fine. Yeah,
So brother,
yeah. No, it's
right?
not too much information on Africa. Not too many.
So
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to Uganda, right? So the Chinese are very deep in Uganda. Did you see Ugandan
Yes.
men dating and marrying Chinese women?
No, no. The Chinese don't play that. Even with even with them being with the African girls, it was very as far as marriage goes, no. They would have babies with the African girls. Some of them even brought the African girls, the Ugandan girls, to China. I met a couple Ugandan girls that you know, they've been to China or whatever. They have perception of American general, blacks in general is less than, you know. So the girls that be with Chinese guys, they're not really interested in black dudes, to
Okay.
be honest.
So the Chinese women, right, in Uganda don't date the black men there in Uganda.
No, they're with Chinese guys. I think the Chinese guys are pretty strict about that. Even here, I haven't seen any Chinese girls with black guys at all. I've seen like maybe a Thai girls or South Korean girls that come and be with like but they wouldn't be with a local guy. They'll be like a black American guy, black guy from the UK or something like that, Australia or something like that, black Westerner. But you won't see them really with the
Wow.
local. I have seen a black American lady married to a Tanzanian man, but that's because if they get married to a man, they get a dependent visa, which allows them to live in the country. As a man, if you get married to a local, you can't get a dependent visa because you can't be a dependent as a man. These countries rely heavily on gender roles. So as a man, you can't be a dependent to a woman, but vice versa is different.
So what visa are you on, brother, in Tanzania?
Me right now, I'm just on the tourist visa. I go to Kenya, come back, whatever. But even with that, there's a way around it. I'm not going to say too much on your channel, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's a way around it. You know what I'm saying? I would say Africa is corrupt, like people know, but it's not a bad corruption. It's a corruption that everyone has access to. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're pulled over, you don't have the proper documentation, you could pay $5 to let you go, right? But that goes for everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's not just like, you know, in America, corruption is specialized. It doesn't matter if you're a multimillionaire, you still may not have access to the corruption if you're not in with the who's who. But here, that doesn't matter, you know. So in these
Yeah,
countries,
hearing this right makes me a bit depressed, bro, because I'm like, again, when I look at other races of people, Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, they got a home base. They may be born in the UK or America. They got a home base where they can make money in their own country and in America, and their home bases are functional. The Arabs, the Saudi Arabians, the Qataris, the UAE people, they got a home base too in Middle East. The white people, they got a home base. Us as black people, right? I think the reason why we're so poor all around the world, bro, because we have no Africa isn't developed, and we have no home base where we can make money in Africa, aside from making money in Europe. Because brother, I'll keep it a stack with you, bro. America and Europe are racist nations. They don't want to see the black man get to the top. They will cap your income. They will cap your success to a certain level. Okay. However, that may happen to Chinese people in America, but that's not happening in China when they go back to their home countries in China and make money there too. We don't have that option as black men to go to Africa and make big money like other races do. So we're kind of in a very sad position, bro. It's very hard for us to build wealth. What's your advice to us, brother? Because it's like crypto is the only way forward.
Oh wait, first let me say shout out to Ozzy in your chat. He's my first super chat ever. Shout out to Ozzy, cool dude. But I would say, okay, so even with the Europe and America thing, right? Because I know a couple black European dudes from the UK that do like rapping and stuff and just other things, businessmen, managers, stuff like that, right? So I asked them, so how is Africa broadcasted to people in UK? So he was saying in UK, they say that Africa is a great place to invest and this, that, and the third. All these positive things you could do in Africa, buy land for cheap. Great. In America, they tell us don't come to Africa. You'll be chased down by a lion, a cheetah, a leopard, a panther, crocodile will snatch you up, a hippo will tackle you. All these discouraging things to make black Americans not want to come to Africa because we are the biggest consumer base in America. We spend money on dumb shit, you know, $500 Jordans. So
Language, bro.
for us,
Please avoid swearing.
I would say for us, the best places for that I've been for Black Americans or even Black Europeans, I would say definitely Kenya for building businesses because they are pretty open. But like I said, we're just competing with the Chinese and with the Anglo-Saxons in these places. Because I would say in Kenya, it's a lot of white people in Kenya. It's crazy. White people love Kenya because it's so cool. It's modern and peaceful, you know. So I get it, but we do stand a chance in Kenya. It's not like in Uganda where we're just bottom of the totem pole. You know what I'm saying? From what I've seen in my couple years of being out here.
Just Kenya out of
Mosquitoes.
50 countries in Africa. I feel like
Well, I only been to
we're
4.
okay. Okay.
I only been to 4. I mean, here you could get your business and stuff, but you have to do it through your girl. So, like, these women are very like. That's why I say get a traditional girl, right? Don't get a girl from Tinder without any family, because that's how you end up getting robbed. But with a traditional girl that has a mother, father, family, tribe, you're in the tribe, you did the dowry, all of that, she could never run off and leave you because her family would excommunicate her. She would be excommunicado for doing that.
Yeah, bro, this has been a great breakdown, man. But again, wealth, we need to be, we got to start building wealth, and it looks like crypto is one of the few options for black men, and which is very sad.
Yeah, I agree.
The Chinese, they got a big country behind them. They got access to European markets. But there's a Chinatown in every goddamn country, bruv. UK, Canada, Africa. So they make money everywhere around the world, bro. That's why they're so wealthy and rich. But think about it, bro. They have their own Chinatown of Chinese people that get income every day, right? Where they sell food all around the world. They have access to markets that we don't have access to. We are very limited, right? We are very limited in terms of how we can build our own wealth as brothers. I don't know what's going on with our leaders, bro. It's
You know
like
what the difference is? Difference is even with the so I see Middle Easterns out here too. The difference is they have familiar support. They have like group economics. Everybody's putting in money in the pot. Everybody's squeezing in the house. Even the Africans, you know, they don't mind working together. And the problem with I don't know about UK. I can't speak about black people in the UK. But Black Americans, it's hard for us to work together. You know, it's very hard. Even with family, it's very hard for us to work together. That's why even in the States, you know, people think Africans don't like us or whatever, but they're just isolated to their groups because, in my opinion, I don't think they like what's going on in the Black American communities. You know what I'm saying? As far as division through, for example, we have colorism, right? They don't have colorism here. You could be light skinned or you could be black like me. It doesn't matter. They're still hanging out. Now, I would say segregation exists everywhere because, like the Indians and the Arabs, they stay to themselves. The Chinese stay to themselves. They have their own communities, but blacks intermingle. It's not like South Africa where you won't see light skins and dark skins hanging out. You know, it doesn't matter here. That's why I like these type of countries.
But
And to
you're
the
telling
guy
me,
that asked,
Hmm.
huh?
You're
I
telling
was
me in South
answering the question.
Africa,
To the,
you're telling me in
after
South
what?
Africa,
Sorry.
brother. You're telling me in South
Uh-huh.
Africa that dark skinned black people and light skinned black people don't hang out. What kind of what?
Not really, no, because there's Zulu, and then there's the coloreds, and segregation just ended in South Africa in 1998. You know, they just started integrating schools recently. South Africa is fucked. There's drugs everywhere, and another thing I want to talk about.
But language, bro, please. Avoid swearing,
Oh,
bro,
I'm sorry.
please.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I won't use any profanity. I promise. But another thing I would like to speak about is the use of intravenous drugs. Right. So I noticed, and I'm not racist towards Anglo-Saxons or white people. I'm just noticing this observation that in places where there's Anglo-Saxon settlers, like South Africa, Rio, everywhere in South America and the Caribbean, there's a lot of intravenous drug usage, right? And that attributes to the crime rate.
Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. I just came back in my house. But there isn't copious amounts of drugs being used. There's no fiends. People aren't trying to get the next hit by any means necessary. That is the problem with South Africa, especially Johannesburg. People need drugs so badly. And to the guy that asked, yeah, man, I traveling Tony 90 on YouTube, brother.
Wow.
But
Bro,
yeah,
this is
drugs, bro. Anglo-Saxons bring the drugs because there's no fiends. If you go to South Africa, Johannesburg, there's people like laying down on the ground everywhere. Rio de Janeiro, people laying down on the ground everywhere, smoked out. And what do all these countries have in common? Anglo-Saxons. You know what I'm
so
saying? Running the country.
so let me ask this right. So do we have a future as brothers? Because again, bro, it feels like the wealth. We got to start building wealth, bro. Man, we are behind. I look at the UK stats, bro. In my country, right? Um, low home ownership, low income households,
Mhm.
high single mother rates. Just doing, and it's similar to America. It's happening in Canada as well. We are
Mhm.
doing bad in every other developed country, and we're also
Yes.
doing bad in Africa and the Caribbean, bruv. I'm like, is this a structured targeted attempt towards brothers to keep us down, or or is our communities broken, and that's our fault, brother?
It's not our fault. It's the slavers' fault. They implemented all the drugs and they did so many things to dethrone black people, descendants of slave, African descendants. Yeah, we were thriving after slavery, bro. You know what I'm saying? We were doing really well. We were doing really well after slavery, and they started implementing, heroin and crack into the neighborhoods, and all of that just twisted up our communities. Like when I was in grad school for criminology, right? They were showing the depiction for a heroin addict in America in the 80s. The news put the depiction as a pregnant black woman injecting her belly with heroin, so suggestive images. So that became a reality. You feel me?
So let me ask this, brother. I don't want to go too deep into the DR
Right,
UG
right,
stuff, right? 'Cause
right, 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 right.
YouTube's a bit funny for that. But so now building wealth, right,
Right.
is, and I will let you go soon, but I know you're probably busy. But last question here, bro.
Uh,
Um, Building wealth, is very important because again, I feel like as brothers, right, our path to building wealth is very limited. It's either crypto or get lucky in finance or with an investment. But when we compare it to the Chinese, Arab, and white opportunities, they have the old boys club, they got big corporations behind them, they have, insider trading, okay?
uh-huh,
They
uh-huh,
have Chinatown, they have
uh-huh.
they have plugs to build wealth, bro. It's so easy for them to make money. Um, but it's hard for us to make money as brothers. What can we do, brother, in your opinion? You've been around the world. How can we build wealth? Is it Africa? Is that where we got to focus our time towards to? Or is it crypto? Break it down for us, because I'm lost here, bruv.
Uh, I think what we need to do first as Black Westerners is create, not find, create a community with like-minded people who are trying to achieve similar goals, and find a way for it to be, fair, where people aren't getting, taken advantage of, because that happens a lot. But the difference between us and these other groups is they support each other. We don't support each other enough.
Mm.
Like I'm new to Black YouTube and stuff like that, but a lot of it is revolved around drama. It's not really revolved around like growth and helping the community as a whole. You go to some of these platforms and it's just brothers arguing and screaming and stuff. It's embarrassing. But but yeah, man. For us to build, we just have to work together. That's what they do. The Chinese will live 8 people to a 2 bedroom house until they get enough money to get the restaurant off the ground. Same with the Arabs. They make it work. We just gotta work together, man. Find some good people. Some good people, man. I'm sure you know a lot of good people, IP. Your platform's huge. Your platform is
Yeah,
huge.
bro, yeah, bro. I mean, I try to, yeah, that's what we got. IT. I'm trying to push crypto now. But obviously, I'm no man is an island. I can't do it all by
Right,
myself,
right,
man. So I'm
right.
just trying to see how else I can just, push brothers towards the right mindset, but also building wealth and open up revenues of wealth for brothers to build from. Because again, when I see other communities, um, it's just like our means of making money is very limited. Just get a job, and that might be a low paying job. You got to pay rent. Nothing, you have nothing left after you pay rent. But with other people, they got trust funds, family backing them, a whole country backing them, bro. We don't have that.
Bro,
Mosiah, turn your camera in the background, please, so I know you're not a troll. We don't have that, bro. So I'm trying to figure out what can we do right, just to, kickstart that wealth process. I do believe Africa will play a big part, but once again, there's problems there. Us being Black British or Black American, we're not seen as Black. Or now we have to compete with Chinese people in our own homeland. I
yeah.
guarantee you, Tony, right? We are not competing with Chinese people in China. That's impossible.
No.
The Chinese man comes first in China, bruv. The Chinese man will come first in China.
Definitely.
How do we as Black men don't come first in our own homelands? That is embarrassing, bruv. That is
Isn't that
utterly embarrassing, bruv. The Arab man will come first in Saudi Arabia and in Qatar. There ain't no way we'll be competing with them in their own country. They come to our country and we're competing with them in our own homelands, bro. It is beyond embarrassing. Our leadership is just embarrassing, bro.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
definitely.
embarrassing, brother.
Definitely. Well, it's just what I noticed. They don't. Like I said, I just did the traditional African thing. I got to see the way. I'll be posting the video soon, but like they're so connected. Like as far as the tribal and stuff, like they had so many people at the wedding. I had to pay people to stand in as my family because my family wasn't buying a plane ticket from America to Tanzania. And they didn't understand, they're so close, they didn't understand how your family wouldn't want to spend the money to come to your wedding, Even though it's in the village and it's way out the way, they just couldn't comprehend it because these people go above and beyond for their family members. It's just very different, man. So it's even for us, right? Even if we want to be with Africans, we have to get adjusted to the culture. It's very different, For us to deal with Africans, we there needs to be like a assimilation period, where we just sit together. We're together. We learn from each other. We have to have like a cultural exchange in order to be able to work together. Because one thing that they teach here and that they have here, and that's what the sassy truck driver found out in these Eastern countries is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence plays a huge role, especially when you're dealing with people, because it could turn a small situation to a big situation if you're not emotionally intelligent enough, and it makes people want to work with you, right? So that's what I've
Yes,
been learning
indeed.
here. They
So
don't teach emotional intelligence in America at all, at all.
So do you think there's hope, right, in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali in what they with their coups, and is there hope there with what they're doing, bro? Could there be potential there, brother, for the diaspora?
See, what we need is more brothers on the continent to go to some more of these countries like Mali, Madagascar, and actually sit there to see how we receive. And another thing too, depending if you speak the local language or not, brothers might need to go to English speaking countries. That's why I promote East Africa. Even if it's a little matriarchal, because you're gonna meet some resistance. Like a lot of guys are looking for perfection that doesn't exist, right? You just
Mm.
got to find what you could work with, right? So nowhere is perfect. You know, I would say East Africa is the closest thing because there's no violence and the people are tolerant of us and are willing to accept us if we are willing to accept their ways of life. You can't, like, I notice some of us come to these countries and they're like, oh, well, I'm gay or I'm this. I'm a pride person, right? And they may have a problem with that here. You know, but that's their rules. Now, if you go to
Yeah,
Rio de Janeiro, it's fine to do that, right? But you have to respect the country, the rules. Not saying nobody has a problem with it. I'm just saying each country has their rules, right? You have to follow it.
I agree with that. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Um, so no, this has been a great conversation. DM, you got a question, bro? And Messiah, turn your camera on in the background, bro. If we want to go into the panel, I will not let you in, brother. I can't see you, bro. You're not confirmed. It's all blacked out. Your webcam's probably covered up. So I got to see that you are, brother. I'm gonna get any chosen up in here, man. Go on, DM.
Yeah, they'll do all types of ignorant stuff.
You got a
I'm
question,
literally.
DM?
Yeah, so I know there's a big Swahili population in Kenya. Is
Mhm,
your wife, but there's also a Swahili population in Tanzania as well, right?
mhm. They're both
And you
Swahili. Yeah.
okay, is your wife part Swahili?
They're all Swahili. They're,
Okay.
they're, all, they're all Swahili. Kenya and Tanzania, they're all Swahili. It's just their tribes are different. So let's say her tribe is Sukuma. You know, they share some tribes like the Maasai because of the jungle or the Serengeti. I think Serengeti, one of the two. They share that and they share the tribes. So they share a couple tribes, but they're a little different. Kenya's more matriarchal.
Mm,
So Kenyan men come here to get their wives because the women here are more homemakers. You know, Kenyan
got
women
it.
are more go-getters. Kenyan women are more the type to go be a doctor or a nurse and stuff like that. They're more versed in. They're more Western. You know, this place is more like Middle East kind of like African Middle East. You know what I'm saying?
Bruv, we need to get our ish together, mate. This is annoying me, but I got to find a plan, right, to just get some sort of thing popping off, to build wealth, take Africa back. I know I can't do it by myself, but I need to do something, bro, because again, it just irks me that every other race of people are happy, they're making money, they have access to wealth, and we are here struggling, bruv. We are here struggling in the West. We not only are we oppressed in the West, not only are we capped in the West, our home countries, we can't build wealth there, we can't make money off there. It's like we're in a box, bro.
Yes.
Bruv, and it's really frustrating, bruv. 'Cause no one wants to be poor. No one wants to live life right, just on the edge, thinking about money, struggling, when every other group of people are just happy, living their lives. It don't make me feel right, bruv. It doesn't. It makes me very annoyed, bruv. And that's why I try to get the IT game popping off, trying to push crypto now. But there's a lot more that we can do, bruv. And it just annoys me as to how we are just got catching hell, bruv. Catching hell in all cylinders. I read an article earlier this week, right? And they're saying that racism against black people is on the rise in Europe, particularly in Germany,
Oh, wow.
Austria, and other countries, right? And, I, I, I guarantee you, right? There's probably Asian people being affected. Difference is, bro, right? Asians will always be making money, particularly Chinese. They got Chinatown, they got China back home, and obviously white people, or particularly white men, they have some sort of fetish towards Asian women. So if you're an Asian woman, right, they're gonna get a lot of opportunities from white society. It's just, but us as black people, we are struggling, bruv, and that's what annoys me, bruv.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a lot, man. It just but it, like moving around, I just see even I'm gonna use South Africa as an example. Like they pit us against each other. The light and the dark and all this other stuff, and it stems from the Anglo Saxons. To be honest, like we are so divided. We just need to come together. That's the only way to fix it. These other groups of people, they're so intertwined. They got each other's back. know what I'm saying? They feed each other, things like that. We're so like self-centered. We don't care about the whole group. We just care about the individual. And these
Mm,
other countries, they care about the group. It's group dynamics,
yes,
not just
indeed.
individual. So
NA. Sorry, bro. NA. Can you cam up in the background, please, so I know you're not a troll. Just for a couple seconds, bro. I'm not asking you to cam up live, right? I'm asking you to turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll. Okay, that's it, bro. That tells me you're a troll. If you can't turn your camera on for a couple seconds in the background, that means you may be a troll. And this is a very serious conversation here. I don't want no trolls coming up in this mofo. So um, it's embarrassing, bruv.
yeah,
You know,
very
in Korea, right? Koreans have Samsung, Japan, and Samsung, brother, is a big phone brand all around the world. Okay, bro. And then you confirm. Thank you, bro. Turn the camera off. Right. In every other country, Japanese have Sony, international brand. Okay. White people have Tesla, Microsoft, international brand. Can anyone name to me one African international brand, a tech brand? You can't, bro.
no,
And this is what I'm talking about, brother.
I can't.
This is what I'm talking about. You can't.
And also,
Chinese,
no African country is considered a first world country because it's all based off European dynamics. Whatever they deem is the criteria for a first world country. But no African country meets that. Out of all the countries in Africa, I call BS. There's some really
facts.
developed countries.
Absolutely, bro. And that's what I'm saying, right? Like the current economic model that we live by is the white man's economic model, like GDP, inflation, etc., etc. This is what the white man created, right, back in the day by a guy called Adam Smith, the Scottish white guy that is the father of economics, right? Why African countries, you know, you know, aligning their own selves to Western economic standards? We have the most resources in the entire world. We don't need Europe or Europeans. We have everything in our continent. But again, we want the Africans want the big cars, like Europeans. We don't want to live the European lifestyle. I don't think that's the way forward for us, brothers. We have oil, we have gas, we have minerals. We can build our own currency or our own economy off our natural resources. Why are we going by European standards? This is what I'm saying, man. It just frustrates me.
I think after this rapture or whatever is going to occur soon with China, Russia, U.S., and U.K. After all this occurs, if Africa actually gets their resources back, I want to see. I'm interested to see. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do with their resources because there's so much raw resources in Africa. I noticed that when I went to the village, like you could just start digging in the village and start hitting gold. I did not know that. It's crazy. It makes me want to live. But the negative thing about the village is it's going to take you a while to get adjusted to the water there. Not saying you're drinking the water from the faucet, but cooking with the water in the pan and stuff like that, the bacterium, we're not used to that. That's a different region, Where we come from, the water is not like that. So you're going to be sick for a while. But, I mean, I guess the end is you'll get paid the gold and the silver.
Can I ask you, why you not doing any digging yourself, bro? Gold digging. I think you should be doing this, brother.
Oh, why didn't? Oh, because I was so sick, bro. I honestly, like, it was like a time when I went to DR and I had a stump like the 24-hour bug or whatever, but this lasted for a week, man. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. I actually researched this like travelers diarrhea. It happens especially in Africa because we're just not adjusted to the bacterium in their water. So it takes you will get adjusted to it. It just takes time. It was torture, man. I was so sick. I was
Will,
so
will, will you
sick.
go back and start doing your own drilling, brother, for minerals? I think it's a good idea for you, bro.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a good idea. So I will go back probably next year, But first, I'm going to explore more of Tanzania, and I want to come out with a language barrier live stream to let people know where exactly English is viable and where it's not. So far, I got a couple places. I've been to like 4 or 5 cities here, but there are some places English will not get you by. So I want make a list of for brothers so they know. But the Chinese don't even know any Swahili, and they're out there in the village. You could still get by, but I'm talking about for like people who want to converse and actually learn and take things away from the locals. And for that you need communication.
We need you, brother, to be mining it and getting that money, bro. We need
Yeah,
you in the
definitely,
future.
bro. Definitely, brother. In the future, I'm so interested in that. I have to first. I'm gonna get like a geologist to go over and look at survey the land and let me know where is like the best spots, and then I'm gonna go in there, man. I'm gonna go in there,
That's it,
brother.
man.
I'm gonna
That's it, bro.
definitely.
No, we got to start being ruthless, man. Obviously, be kind amongst each other, your kinfolk.
Right.
But when it comes to others, because they do it to us, man, I'll keep it a stack. They do it to us. Let me bring in Mr. NA. What's going on, NA? How you doing, bro?
Doing pretty well. To what you were saying about like the continent, they don't view, like, a lot of people on the continent don't view us as like native Africans because of the diaspora that happened with the slave trade. So when you're in America, they believe that you're American, or if you're from the UK, they view you as that. Unless you're like a first generation whose parents were on the continent, they will not view you as being one of the locals. So even when it comes to like dating, you have to be very careful because there's a lot of romance scam that's on the continent, especially like areas like Nigeria. Like I was in a situation for like the last year and a half dealing with a woman that was out there from the Yoruba tribe, where basically like I was making sure all her expenses were taken care of, doing transfers and things like that. But at the end of it, it didn't get me love or anything like that because it's like a survival mentality. So there's so much poverty that's in those regions that if you talk to a woman that's from like the trenches or anything like that, what ends up happening is they just milk you for your resources. And every time there's always like a financial emergency. And a lot of times people in the diaspora make a mistake when they send remittances back to the continent. The money's not being used to actually like invest into businesses or anything like that. It's just for them to just get luxury items like clothing to meet their needs for the month and stuff like that. So my situation, I ended up investing like over like 4K into the situation, which is about like 4 point something million naira in their currency. But it's like you have to be very tolerant when it's like a long distance relationship because communication is a big thing as well as respect. If communication starts to kind of break down or like respect is not there, then there's no relationship because at that point they're just using you to for their needs, and the minute you're not able to meet their needs, they'll move on to the next supplier, or they'll keep you around, like, which is like breadcrumbing you to make you seem like there's a future with them, but the whole time they're not really interested in the future. They're just keeping you around as a supply, like for a narcissist in a sense.
Okay, interesting,
Can
bro.
I
So,
touch on
brother,
that?
oh, you're gone. Yep.
Okay, so my suggestion, like, I've been living here for a couple of years, yeah, and this is everywhere. Don't do long distance relationships. It don't make sense. Like, don't do long distance relationships, especially if you're only going to be able to spend 2 weeks in the country or 3 weeks or 1 week. It makes no sense. You don't know the girl. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know her family. It took a while to build trust with this girl. She pretty much, these girls will chase you on the continent when you actually live here, but on the online level, I know the Tinder girls and stuff like that. They just receive money from dudes in, you know, America, UK, whatever. For some odd reason, we're so free with sending money, and they're just loving it. You know what I'm saying? So stop sending these girls money. You don't know them, especially West Africa. West Africa is known for scamming. Even amongst other Africans, they don't trust like Nigerians and
Yeah,
Ghanaians, and they think I'm Nigerian. They think I'm Nigerian.
but the thing about Nigeria is yeah, I mean, there's a lot of scams there. The person I was doing was Nigerian, so I mean, it's a life learning experience.
Yeah, right.
Being that you learn that, because like, for instance, if you're dealing with someone on a serious level, there's certain things that's not acceptable to post on social media level, right? Like if you're dating somebody, you're not gonna post something like you're single. So if they're posting things to kind of like send subliminal messages, then they're not taking you serious,
What about sorry, business wise, bro? In Nigeria,
Okay.
you out there for a bit, bro. And any business opportunities, brother, in Nigeria that we can obviously get involved in, make money with the locals, build ourselves up, build wealth.
I mean, definitely tech wise, there's like a lot of young people in the population that don't have access to employment. So if you're able to provide a solution, which is access to capital or access to creating a job to where they're able to actually work and live, then you have opportunity to expand and grow that industry to becoming a Fortune 500 company.
Oh, okay, but obviously, brother, as normal brothers, right? We don't have that capital to build those kind of companies yet. I'm thinking more about the resources there that we can start mining out there. Just business, brother, in general. Is there like something we can do about that, bro? Because I'm about this making moves now, man. Because honestly, it don't feel right to me that every other people are making money in our homeland, bro, and we out here struggling.
I mean, there's definitely resources that you could be mined and everything. But the question is, if you do own one of these mines, what will be the condition of the workers? Will they be able to have a set schedule as well as, would that lead to exploitation? Because once you start to see the raw resources that's in those regions, uh, that leads to corruption at times. So, you don't want to be someone like, for instance, like Liberia. Are you familiar with Liberia's history?
Yes, yes.
All right, so the slaves that came back to Liberia, what they ended up doing was they ended up making Liberia like another America, but instead of helping the people, they oppressed them, and then they made them basically like second class citizens, which led to like civil war and things of that nature. It led to like a class system where if you were, American who came over there, you basically were in control of the government, but the people that were native to the land suffered.
Okay.
But
Let me go on.
sorry, you also have to be careful as well because witchcraft is very big on in those regions. So you may go there, but they're so in tune with the spiritual aspect of what they call juju that if you're not careful, they can send spirits to basically go after you and to basically to take your life or to basically even cause you to become like a slave to them in a sense.
What the flip is going on here, bruv, man? Why is there so much issues amongst black people, man? This is just a flipping joke, man. You don't hear Chinese doing that, Arabs doing that, Asians doing that. I don't get anymore, brothers, man.
They do it on a different level. When it comes to like the Arabs, they have like a lot of people that come from the Philippines or come from third world nations. They bring them over there, and they basically are like there's like a WhatsApp that they will actually will sell people, human beings, as slaves. So when you see like a lot of the videos of the women from Nigeria going to like Dubai or going to these different nations, a lot of times they're being paid to sleep with dogs, and they're being given like
Whoa, whoa.
bags and probably like maybe $1,000 or so, and then they're sent back to the country. So when you see them, you see like the bags and the stuff that they present to you, but they don't show you what they did to actually make that money.
Let me bring in Demswood, man, before I lose my temper here from my laptop against the wall. Let me bring in Demswood here. What's going on, Demswood? How you doing, bro?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro. You good?
All good, fam. I'm liking the conversation that we're having so far, man. Man, it's gonna take a lifetime for Mother Africa to get for her to get on her 2 feet. In my opinion, there's too much corruption in Mother Africa, especially in Nigeria. I don't advise brothers to go to Nigeria to make money. It's a lost course, in my opinion.
Why is that?
But too much corruption. I've been to Nigeria 3 times. One Nigerian politician got arrested because he was a part of a organ trafficking to the UK. The police, they'll bribe you, and they'll steal from you. I've experienced that myself.
Wow.
I mean, what he's saying is true. The politician that brought the Nigerian over there, What he did was he basically had a daughter who had like a terminal condition as well as his wife. Unless they got like organs for the condition, they did it before. They got away with it the first time. The second time, they said that the Nigerian was their cousin, but they had no type of connection or anything like that to him. So when they brought the Nigerian to the UK, what they did was they basically kept him in the house, but they were going to use his organs to basically for kidney for his daughter. And when the Nigerian government, when the UK government ended up finding out, they ended up prosecuting them, and then they found out that they cheated the system, and they sentenced him to like some harsh sentences. Him and his wife.
I want to
Wow.
touch on the witchcraft thing. So I've taken a lot of trips and stuff around. Witchcraft is big here too. I think this is like number 2 and number 3 in witchcraft. I personally don't believe in witchcraft. It's bullshit to me. But
No, well, sorry to interrupt you, but juju witchcraft is very real.
I don't believe in it. You know, like the tribal people, my girl's family, all the locals.
Hold on, Denwood. Let them finish. Go on, bro.
Yeah. I don't believe in it personally, but all the locals here, everyone believes in it. I just personally don't believe in it because, you know, I'm more afraid of physical things, guns, knives. I'm not afraid of somebody say I put a hex on you, you know, like that. You got to come at me with physical weapons. I was in the military, you know, so for me it's a little different. But a lot of people do believe it if they get your hairs and stuff like that. I told them I'll give them hair from my bum if they really want to try to put a curse on me or whatever. They can have it. But yeah, I don't believe in that stuff. But a lot of people do. I'm actually gonna go to a witchcraft island, Ukulele, for one of my YouTube videos, and people are afraid that I'm actually going to do it, but they don't kill people or nothing like that. You know, I want to see how it goes. So I'll give you guys firsthand from a witchcraft island perspective.
But that's how they a lot of times when they do the scams, they have to go to like a witchcraft doctor. So the witchcraft doctor ends up taking a picture of the client that they're working with. That's what they call them, clients. They call it Yahoo Plus, which is like when they sacrifice people for money. That's called like a money ritual where they kill the person, and then once they kill the person, they get like access to wealth.
Delete. Keep it coded, yeah. Delete.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So when they delete the person, what they end up doing is they end up getting things in the physical world. Like they get money, they get cars, they get women, they live a high lifestyle. There's so many cases. If you if you go on the net, you look on YouTube, you'll see videos of people doing rituals and things like that. So what they'll do is for the clients, they'll take the picture and they'll go to like a doctor, and they'll use this type of black soap. And from the black soap, they're able to then get the client to giving over hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars, to basically facilitate their lifestyle on the in the continent of Nigeria.
Okay, Denwood, what's your thoughts here, bro?
Yeah, what the brother said is extremely correct. Juju or witchcraft, you're dealing with IP, how coded do you want me to keep it?
Coded, please.
You're dealing with some malevolent spirits. Yeah, it's we're going way back to biblical Babylonian practices, and it's it's very real.
Well, people put witchcraft on my girl and attempted to me, her even people from her tribe, because she's with an American that has money, and some like her parents have money, but the rest of the tribe is jealous because her dad's like a millionaire, right? So now she's the daughter of a millionaire who's with an American guy who has money. So they're super jealous. So people have been her own friends have tried to do witchcraft to her and all the other shit, all other stuff, whatever. And I just tell her, don't believe it, you know. I've met witch doctors. I've seen witch doctors. We had a situation. I met a witch doctor. If they want to believe it, that's fine. I personally don't believe it. I've seen these witch doctors aren't living amazing lives. If witchcraft worked, then they'll be living in nice houses. They're living in huts with outside toilets. You know, they're doing whatever they can to survive. You know, so witch doctors, if they're really getting results, they'll be the epitome of success. They'll be the example. They'll be like, look, where are the results? You know what I'm saying? Why are they struggling?
But if you think about this as well, like even with Afro beats, like there's a big influx of Afro beats being very popular in the West, right? So even in the music, they will tell you that they've done rituals, or they put the rituals into the songs where people are like singing to it, they're doing chants They're doing incantations, not realizing that they're partaking in this cultic practice. But even outside of the continent itself, even with America and the UK, like a lot of these nations have made covenants with principalities and powers of spiritual forces that they dedicated their countries to, where they have to basically sacrifice to the deities that they worship. So a lot of times when wars are being fought, or even like the wars are being fought, they have to sacrifice a certain number of people to appease the principalities and the powers that's within these nations that have made covenants with these demons.
So what about what we see on the screen here, right? You know, in regards to, so why can't I do it to these nations that are oppressing African countries? I think that's a great question there by Bala Jala on the screen. Okay, what's your thoughts about that, Demswood and NA? You know, if it's so, why can't I do it towards, you know, the people that are oppressing?
That's very easy, because white people, they're also practicing in that as well.
What?
Yeah, in the UK, US, IP, you know who's in who's in control. A certain type of group.
Yeah.
They practice in that. That's why it can't affect them, because they already practice it.
So what about Haiti? Why is it not helping Haiti at all?
Are you saying, sir? Are you saying
Huh?
Are you saying the witchcraft that's done there, or are you saying like more of
the witchcraft that's done there is not helping the country at all?
Because you got to understand, whenever there's spirits, when you read the sacred books like the Tanakh, the Bible, New Testament, they tell you the rituals that's done, right? They tell you about the different gods like Molech, the different type of deities that they would worship. The spirits that's there are not there to uplift the life of the people. They're there to keep them oppressed. That's how the systems are able to stay in power. Because in order for you to be rich, you have to oppress someone else. That's why when you go back to slavery in Egyptian times with the Egyptians and what happened with the Hebrews, they would use their energy, their life force, to basically keep the people oppressed, but to increase their wealth. So towards the time of the Exodus, when God told Moses, "Hey, tell Pharaoh, let my people go." He didn't want them to let the people go because there's so much wealth in slavery. You're speaking about taking a human being, not paying them their salary or their wages of what they worked for, but you get all the benefits of it by having a human being that's skilled in a particular skill set, which leads to basically wealth creation. That's the same history of America. America did the same thing with diaspora when they went to Brazil, when they went to all these different island nations, and they made the people become slaves. It was the greatest wealth transfer that happened in human history. But it's nothing new because the playbook always stays the same. When you go back to the Old Testament, which is the Tanakh, the Torah, it talks about basically like how the wealth is transferred. So once Moses was able to allow his people to actually escape from Egypt, they bankrupted Egypt because all of the gold and the silver was given to the Israelites who went to the wilderness. And once Pharaoh realized what was happening, he basically tried to chase them down to stop them from leaving. And God basically split the water and allowed the water to take away the Egyptian army, which allowed the Israelites to escape.
Okay. All right. So moving on from this topic, right? So before I end the stream, solutions. What is the solution to building wealth for brothers and getting us to the top of the totem pole and you know, where we're actually respected? Because the reason why we don't get a lot of respect is because we don't have the wealth. You know, like in Scarface, right? First you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get the respect. We don't have neither of those three things. So what can we do to get to the top of the
Solution.
totem pole?
So the solution,
Yes.
actually, one of the solutions would be for us to actually do what Jewish people are doing, which is do business amongst each other.
Whoa. Hold on, bro.
Sorry.
We gotta keep it coded, man. Please don't
Okay.
mention.
Okay. So in order for so basically, there's you would have to basically go back to the roots. Having a family where you have the father mother dynamic, but you also have offsprings that are born, that you teach them the truths of the Tanakh or whichever sacred work you're reading, and you raise them on those principles. But you also teach them the biblical aspect of finance, because when you study it, you start to realize that there's some industries that will always be here, no matter what technology exists. So with that being said, like you would make sure that you teach a skill set to your offspring, and you also leave an inheritance behind for them, so they're able to go ahead and take up that skill set to creating a generational wealth that will last for many generations beyond just one generation of people within this land.
Okay. Mr. Traveling Tony, Jav, what's your solution, bro, for industry?
Just coalition, man. Just working together. That's the only difference between us and the other groups of people is working together. Unification, family values. We lost touch of our family values, because of slavery. It's not our fault. They did everything to destroy the family structure amongst the black people who are descendants of slaves in the West, right? They did everything to destroy, even Caribbean people, right? Like, even the Caribbean, women are the head of households in the Caribbean. It's not the Caribbean dudes anymore. Women are running the Caribbean.
Wow.
Look at Dominican Republic. Those girls are running those households. They're the breadwinners. You know what I'm saying? They're the breadwinners.
IP, what Tony is saying is absolutely right. I'm Jamaican and African American, and this is why I became a passport bro. Because you can't get an African American woman because they'll run the household. You can't get a Jamaican woman, they'll run the household. My ex-wife was Dominican, they'll run the household. So that's why I'm going either like Latin America, like Central America, South America, all the way. That's why my girlfriend is Malaysian. But as far as the wealth goes, we got to stick together. This is our community right here.
Yes, indeed. Do you think it's a problem, Traveling Tony, for us to be speaking about this wealth of us black men, but we have Asian girlfriends, Asian wives, Latino wives, brother, particularly like Japanese, South Korean, Colombian? Is that a problem in your opinion, brother? Has she got to be black?
No, I believe people like who they like. Like even though I'm with an African woman, there, and I'm not saying there's a problem with it. There's women that like women. There's guys that like guys. There's guys that like guys that wear wigs. Like people like what they like. I like what I like, but it's no problem. It's like, do what you gotta do in your personal life, but as long as we can come together and work, what you do in your personal life is your personal business, right?
There's something I want to ask though. When you see like the Asian children being created with Asian household, like with Chinese and the Koreans, do you feel like that's the future of African unity with Asia?
I do think Africa and Asia, especially China, are going to have a really tight bond in the future, because even here, like I said, Chinese are all through here, man. Like all these African, except for South Africa. I noticed that the Chinese do not go to dangerous countries. I did notice that. So it's probably would behoove us to kind of follow them around to the countries they're going to to get the money. They're chasing the bag and safety. You won't see Chinese in a dangerous country. I didn't see no Chinese in South Africa at all.
Okay. Obviously, I want the passport movement to be comprised of straight black men, with wives, children. It must be a straight movement only, for straight black men, bro. I don't want that other stuff in the movement. I'll keep it that, bro. I don't. It has to be.
I don't want that stuff either. But
brothers.
for YouTube purposes, for your channel purposes, I'm speaking this way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So YouTube is a left-leaning platform. I understand that. So I'm just, respecting your platform. But no, I don't agree with that at all. That's why I live in a conservative country where it's banned. So.
Let me also go to Mr. Traveling Tony, thank you, bro. I need to jump off a few callers. I need to go very soon. Much appreciated, bro. Thanks for calling.
Okay, all right, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Traveling Tony. Take care.
No problem. You too, bro.
All right,
peace out, bro. Mr. NA, yeah, go on, bro. Okay, thank you, Mr. NA. Denzel, stay on the line, bro. Mr. DM, thank you, bro, for this great discussion, brother. It's much appreciated, bro.
Denzel, nice to see you. How you doing? And IP, thank you for having me. It's always an honor.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, bro.
Big up, bro.
And of course, Mr. Demswood, what's the solution, bro?
Brotherhood. We need a brotherhood. It's very clear we need a brotherhood. We need like-minded brothers with the conservative mindset. Brothers in revered professions where we can build in a lot of property. We have our crypto stocks, building towards one particular goal. That's what we need. And I'm gonna say something controversial, IP. The reason why black people in the West, or black people as a whole, on the bottom, is division. There's a lot of division particularly in the West, in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Black people, we don't like each other.
Divide and conquer, that comes from slavery.
Exactly. So I'm glad this channel that you create, IP, is a new community of for black men. Black men with traditional values, with conservative values, black men who are in revered professions. We have a purpose, we have a mission to build traditional families, which is opposed in the Western Hemisphere. This is the new black community, because the black community in the US and the UK are dead.
I agree with 007 with what he said. This is a new black community. You have to be a passport, bro. There's no way out of it. We have no other choice. We have to form an empire.
Yeah, this is being a passport, bro. Is you saying to hell to the West? I'm doing things on my terms now. We're gonna honor our ancestors by doing what we want, which is creating traditional families, actually unifying as a brotherhood. That's what our ancestors wanted. That's why they died and suffered.
And to go along with Demsworth's point, a woman psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually can only give you what's inside of her. So one of the reasons why Western women are so mad at us for becoming passport bros and they label us as sellouts is because deep down inside, they know that they don't have what it takes to be the submissive wives that we want and deserve. And so this is the reason why they try to put us through all kinds of mental gymnastics if we want to travel, because they know once we travel and we see what femininity is truly about, forget about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're scared, IP and brothers. They're scared of change. They're scared of actually putting the work to become better. That's why they slander us passport bros, because we can do what they can't.
Facts, man. I have a lot to think about today. I really do. I need to just write a plan to do more for the brothers. Crypto is definitely, what's that noise? Okay, crypto is definitely a part of it. And we got to strategize and just try and move like ninjas out here, like warriors, like business people, and start thinking big. I have a lot to think about, and I've got to set a plan because we can't be out here being food, bruv. We can't be out here struggling. We can't be out here. How can I read a report, right, that tells me that racism has grown in Europe, right? Cool, right? But in our own homelands, we have nothing there. We can't make money in Africa, so we can only make money in Europe, where Europe doesn't really like us like that. Okay, but when I look at the Chinese condition, Koreans, Japanese, Arabs, they make money in Europe, in America, and also in their homelands too. So they're getting income, bro, from their homelands and in a developed Western country. We can only get money in the West, right? And the West doesn't like us like that, and we're capped at what we can actually build unless you're exceptional.
Mm.
It don't feel right to me, bro. It doesn't.
One thing. One thing I just don't understand about African nations is that why are they still in the Commonwealth? Why are they still in the Commonwealth? That's what I don't understand. You achieved independence from breaking away from the British Empire, yet you're still in the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth the Commonwealth exists because it's a remnant of the British Empire. That's why it exists. That's why they do comet relief. Remember comet relief?
Yep.
Yeah, that right there. The UK wants to be the white savior. That's why they do these silly comet reliefs.
Yeah.
You don't get something for nothing in this life. So yes, the UK might give financial resources to countries that are members of the Commonwealth, but what do you think the UK is going to want to return?
Exactly.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. That's
Crypto.
why the
Go on,
crypto
bro.
stocks. I need to do more geopolitics. I've been slacking on geopolitics. Been looking geopolitics, and we can strategize and create a plan when it comes to economics.
Very true, man. Passport bro economics.
IP, I'm going to have to send you a message about whether or not it's worth it to invest in crypto with Google, or if there's another company where I should invest in crypto and how to get started.
Sure, bro. Sure. I'll look into that, bro.
But
Go on, bro.
but the thing is, brothers, we need to keep pushing. Like throughout this week, IP. I'm glad we had our the consultation, because I've been very hectic this week, sticking to the battle plan that we made together during the consultation. I've been shipping out my CV to a lot of Japanese companies, a lot of American companies. Just I've been pushing out my CV left, right, and center, and man, I really want to leave the UK as quickly as possible. I've been nothing but working and shipping out my CV to a lot of Japanese tech companies this week.
Good man, bro. Don't forget crypto, man. We like crypto is going. When it hits right, it's going to hit right. It's going to change a lot of lives. I need to do a crypto stream. I'm planning a crypto stream, only about crypto. I'll probably have several streams down the line. We got to find a plan for crypto, what to invest in, how to build from there. Man, I need a plan. I need to figure out something, man, because it doesn't feel right to me. Shout out to Mr. Babatunde Aloye for the $7.99 Australian dollar super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to you, IP. Didn't catch the stream from the beginning. No problem, brother. I have a 9-hour stopover in Singapore to Ethiopia next month. Might explore the city. Fantastic, bro. Awesome, man. Awesome. Please give us some intel as to how you like it, Babatunde. Appreciate you, bro, for the support as always. Thank you, bro.
Definitely check out the Hawker Centers and do the duck tour as well as the night tour.
The duck tour, DUCK.
The duck tour. So the duck tour, let me explain it. It's half because the duck is an amphibian, so it's on land and water. So basically, it's a World War II boat that now gives you tours. So you have the city tour of Singapore, on the street, and then it goes into the river, and you can go on a beautiful boat ride around the business area of Singapore. And you see the major buildings, the Marina Bay Sands, the Bank of Singapore building, all you can see it's all around the major financial center. And then it goes back onto land.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. Great live stream, man. Can just to pivot off this live stream, brothers who are into crypto, feel free to call in, please. Brothers, I want to recommend crypto in the live stream chat. Feel free to do so. I think from now until next year, it's going to be big for crypto. From the brothers I've spoken to, from the brothers that I know, we got to get into crypto. You have to understand, brothers, right? We live in the investment economy now. So saving isn't going to, help you retire, isn't going to, give you the life that your grandparents may have had when they retired. We now live in the investment economy. So you have to invest. You have to invest, man. And I think crypto is going to be something that we need to look into a lot further. So great live stream, man. Mr. DM, do you have any closing statements, bro?
We have to be like Genghis Khan. He got his clan together. He formed an empire, took over Asia. Passport Bros, this is our clan. Let's stay together, invest in crypto, work together, unite Asia with Africa, because it's happening already. We just got to unite it in the right way and form an empire. And there's nothing wrong with having half Black, half Latin kids, Malaysian kids, but we stick together, form an empire, and we get wiped up.
Oh, awesome, man. So thank you, DM. Mr. Demswood, you got any closing statements, bro?
Great live stream. Another classic IP. Thank you very much. Big up to the brothers who are on the live stream and who supported. I think we just need to focus on the mission statement. Become high value, unify, just level up. Whether it's in crypto, stocks, property, get into IT, brothers. IPs here, just a book of consultation. We all need to level up, and we all need to unify as a brotherhood. That's all we need to do. Because when we're united, we're stronger. We can show and tell the critics, we are high value. We are stronger because we're a brotherhood. Black men are God's first soldiers. We're fulfilling our purpose as straight, conservative Black men. And we just need to focus more on the mission. That's what we need to do.
Yes, indeed, bro. Shout out to Demswood, DM, Traveling Tony, NA, the brothers are called in. Shout out to Theo. Shout out to the brothers that put in great work. We got work to do, but we will achieve our goals, man. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep being focused. Let's keep, to the mission, right? And let's thrive together, man. So thank you, brothers, right? I got a busy day ahead of me, very busy day ahead of me. Shout out to the brothers, and I will see you, brothers, on the next video. Peace out, brothers. Thank you.